Good evening and welcome to the Netzach Daily Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Today we're carrying on from where we left off yesterday in Seif Samach Hey, Siman Samach Hey, Seif Zion. So the Hilchos Ribbis. If one lends some money to his fellow for some length of time, in order that the fellow should in turn lend him money at a different time, as in it's one of the stipulations at the time of the loan that the borrower must do so in return. Will it be a larger amount for an equal length of time, or an equal amount for a longer period of time? This constitutes full ribbis. However, if one lends money to another on the condition that the borrower should in turn lend the lender at another time, an equal amount of time for an equal length of time. Also, there are those who say that it's also prohibited. And there are those who say it's mutter. However, in such a case, a person should be machmir and not do so. However, if they did not make such a condition at the time of the first loan, so it was just a loan one way. There was no stipulations that there must be a return loan. But the borrower willingly lends the original lender money at a different time. Even if he's doing it only because this person lent him in the past. In such a case, one can be mekel. Seif Ches. The lender must be careful not to derive benefit from the borrower, for example, by, let's say, using his tools without the borrower's knowledge, without specifically the borrower's knowledge. Sorry, just to be a bit clearer. This is only as long as the lender's money is in the hand of the borrower. This restriction applies even to something that the borrower would have done for the lender, even if he had not lent him the money. Because since he's getting this benefit without the borrower's permission, it appears that the lender relies upon him. So it seems to be relying on the fact that because the borrower has his money, he'll see, oh, it's him. People will think that he's using it because the borrower will forgive him because he's helping him, and that's ribbis. However, if it's with the borrower's knowledge, mutter, it's permitted. If only if it's something that, even if he hadn't lent him the money, he would have been fine, okay with him doing anyway. And also, as long as it's not something done in public. So it's something that you would have done for him anyway, and it's in private, then it's absolutely fine. Seif Tes. If the borrower is not accustomed to initiate a greeting to the lender at any other time, as in aside from this particular loan, they have nothing to do with each other. Also, it's prohibited to greet him, specifically guys' way to greet him. But also and it's also to confer any sort of honor, whether it's in the shul or it's in another place, if he was not accustomed to do so. As in, so if you are accustomed to give this, this person, you have dealings with him outside of this particular transaction or loan, then it would be fine. If it's you're doing it only because you've got this relationship, then it will be awesome. So too, other types of mere words of ribbis are also. Shneimar, it said in the pasuk, Neshech kol davar asher yishach, shall not cause a brother to take interest of anything that he may take as interest. So in particular, the interest in the pasuk is a kol davar. I feel a dibur also. So too, even words are forbidden. Well, the words are only uttered when it's because of the loan. So to the lenders also warned about words of ribis. For example, if he tells the borrower, inform me if this person arrives from such and such place. Even though he's not troubling him, he's not troubling the borrower to do anything more than just tell him something. If there was no relationship prior to this, as in he would never have asked him before they had this relationship, this loan. And now the lender relies on the fact that he gave the borrower a loan. The tzavos a law in order to direct the borrower to assist him because he is subservient to him. Because the borrower is subservient to the lender. This is therefore considered ribis. Now, if you're going to ask me 1 second, how is it called subservient? It's written in the pasuk. So you can answer. It's written in the pasuk. Eved lo ish malva. A debtor is a servant to the creditor. As in, ze einoi elo. This will only apply as le'inin she'im nofel beinehim din advarim. This only arises in the case where there is a claim or an argument between them. The lender says to the borrower, let's go to the great Beis Din, so obviously a very like the Supreme Court. While the borrower says to the borrower wants to have the din, the case in the local Beis Din. The borrower must do as the lender wishes. The converse is also true. The borrower has to defer to the lender. Let's say the borrower wants to go to the Beis Din Gadol and the lender wants to go to the local one. You go to the local one. Which is the debtor is subservient to the creditor. Seif Yud. Even in the case of a benefit of gratitude, which is not considered to have true financial value. So a benefit, tovas hana, is when a person patronizes a particular business when there are competing businesses all offering the same value. Let's say it's all at the same price, so you choose a particular one. So that one will be grateful to you for the fact that you've patronized him. So that's called tovas hana. So afilu tovas hana, even in the case of a benefit of gratitude, she'ein mamon, which is not considered a true financial value. Also, the lender is forbidden to benefit from the borrower in such a case where the lender is a workman. So and on other occasions, the borrower is not accustomed to provide him with work. Only now, since his workman has lent him money, the borrower wishes to provide him with work. Also, that's also. So, Seif Yud Aleph. Also, it's prohibited for someone to lend a sar, which is an amount of produce, so that at a later date he'll give him an exact sar in return. Even if they're both of the same kind of produce. Because could be in the meantime the price of the produce will rise. He'll be returning a higher value than what he borrowed. Rather, in order to avoid this problem, when the loan is actually made, he should convert it into a loan of value. So work out the value of the produce that he's giving over. So what he's doing is he's lending the value of the produce. He gives the produce, but what he's asking for in return is the value of the produce. So in the case where it does go up in price, he will only give back the money. So he can, obviously, if it's the same amount, that's worth the same amount at the time where he wants to pay back, he can give a sar back. However, in the case where it's the value change, you should give back money. However, there are two exceptions to this rule, which are if at the time of the loan the borrower owns even a small amount of this type of produce, it's permissible to borrow even several kol, which is a much larger amount than the saw. So as long as there is as long as the borrower has that type of produce in his possession at the time. The second exception, also, if that type of produce has a set market price, it's permissible to borrow even if the borrower doesn't have any of that type of produce, because it has a set amount, he's always going to get that amount back. This is all talking about when it's the same type of produce. However, with regard to things which are not of the same type, to lend a saw of wheat in order to receive a saw of millet in return, it's also under all circumstances, even if they have the same market price, and the borrower has a quantity of millet in his possession, it's still also. Nevertheless, to lend a small item, regarding which someone is not particularly bothered whether it goes up or down in value, under any circumstances, such as an egg, for example, it's small, no one cares about it, even a bottle of milk maybe. Therefore, a woman may lend a loaf of bread to a friend, even if they are different values, as long as she's happy to get her bread back, it's fine. So that concludes this evening's Shulchan Aruch.